Jacob Rees-Mogg. People are sick of sound bites. Politicians need to engage in arguments. Jacob Rees-Mogg has dismissed speculation that he is in the running to become the next Prime Minister as flattering, but refused to rule out a leadership bid in the future. The erudite Bakbek MP has been the subject of feverish speculation in recent weeks after a number of polls ranked him second favourite to replace Theresa May after Brexit Secretary David Davis. A recent poll by @Digital Tories on Twitter found 79% support for Rees-Mogg compared to 9% for Davis and Foreign Secretary Boris Johnson. The father of six's cult following on social media has been dubbed Mogmatum, a play on Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn's Momentum supporters, while he also won plaudits earlier this month for a straight-talking appearance on BBC's Question Time. The North Somerset MP says, "It's very flattering, but Bakbek Tory MPs do not become leader of their party when the party is in government. The next leader will come from the cabinet. It's charming speculation, but I've held no office. I've been a Bakbek MP for 7 years and there's not a vacancy, nor do I want there to be one. I want the party to rally around Theresa May. We need certainty and leadership, not chatter about who should take over." The old Etonian multimillionaire puts his recent surge in popularity down to his plain speaking. "I think what the public wants is people who are willing to engage in arguments. The one-sentence soundbite is out of fashion. Tony Blair was the best at those, but politicians who repeat soundbites again and again are no longer taken seriously by the public." He blamed advisers for the Prime Minister's over-reliance on catchphrases such as strong and stable leadership during the election and argues that Conservatives should go back to making structured arguments, and he was cheered by the usually left-leaning Question Time audience when he declared that talk of hard or soft Brexit was nonsense, saying, "You are either in the European Union or you leave it." He also supported scrapping HS2 and raiding the foreign aid budget. What was interesting about Question Time was how much the audience warmed to structured arguments rather than insulting them by saying they can only understand pap. He says, "I think conservative arguments are very powerful, and when people listen to them they realize that that's what improves their standards of living, keeping more of the money they earn, buying their own home. The belief that individuals and not the state create society, being masters of their own destiny." If only the Conservatives had got round to making those arguments during the general election campaign after Tony Blair, people started to believe that the Conservatives would never be popular again, and in response we had Cameron and Osborne softening conservatism at the edges instead of advancing the arguments for it, and ultimately that's going to fail if you start doing what the opposition are doing but just a little bit less. Then there's a danger that people will start voting for the real thing rather than you. What we should be talking about is how Conservatives can deliver a Brexit that makes the less well-off better off, how we should be building more housing. Owning your own home is an ambition for everyone. People don't want a socialist narrative or being told what's good for them, but to have ambition. We don't say, "This is a little bit difficult so we can't." We are about delivering what people want and are justified in wanting. Joking that he didn't mind poking fun at himself, "There's a lot to take the mickey out of." Rees-Mogg says there were looks of abject horror on the faces of his staff when it was suggested he should go on social media. "I very much enjoy Instagram. I find it a very friendly forum," he says during last month's election campaign. A photograph he posted of himself and his eldest son, wearing blue Tory rosettes, outside a Labour supporting tattoo parlour went viral after he captioned it, "We shall have to take our business elsewhere. I couldn't resist the tattoo parlour with the big Vote Labour sign." The social media side of things, it's just a bit of harmless fun, really. The 48-year-old son of former Times newspaper editor William Rees-Mogg insists his personal wealth doesn't preclude him from understanding the concerns of his poorest constituents. Somerset Capital, the investment management firm he co-founded in 2007, manages a portfolio worth £6.5 billion. I set up a business that started out in the basement of my house that now employs nearly 50 people. That teaches you a lot about life and people. My constituency includes some very deprived areas. I see people in desperate need and I see it as my job to help them. Last week Theresa May praised Rees-Mogg, saying, "Jacob is a great colleague. He is a great history buff and you learn an awful lot when you listen to him." Asked recently if he wanted to be leader, he said, "I don't think it's wise to have ambitions above one's station." His real ambition, to go on the BBC's Test Match special, will be fulfilled next month when he is interviewed by Jonathan Agnew. Thanks for watching. Please like, share and don't forget to subscribe English News Hub for new excited videos.